says stream validation in progress. It may be starting just now as I'm speaking, but I'm just trying to bring it up. Here we go, right on the old iPad. So hopefully we get some chat tonight. And let's go ahead and bring that up. Hope you guys are all doing well. My name is Mark Horner, Beyond 90 Seconds. Pleasure to have you along. I haven't done many live streams on YouTube from this road, but I've done a ton from this road on Periscope, moving a bit more into the YouTube space now. And this is Spring-Getty Road in Snohomish, Washington, which is about 30 miles north of Seattle. And let's just take the name off there. It's been quite a nice night. Let's go ahead and show you some photos that I took a bit earlier on the Canon 7D, and a few minutes ago I just imported them into this camera, which I'm using to stream. So let's go ahead and show you a couple of scenes from a bit earlier. This is behind me looking towards the Cascade Mountains. You can see some snow on the mountains there in the distance. A bit closer look. And we're really not all that far from an eagle nest, which is behind me as well, across those fields. Looks like Mark Beamish has joined. Hey Mark, nice to have you here. There was also another moment. Let's show you that. Really nice to have you here, Mark. Here's another photograph. So we have this big cloud that's still out there hanging over my favorite tree here on Spring-Getty Road in Snohomish, Washington. And I couldn't resist that temptation. It got dark for a little while here. I thought, it's not sunset yet. And then I looked out once I got out of the car, and I could see how the sun had ducked behind that big cloud. And that was the moment that it emerged. I keep on thinking from time to time, you guys, that I'm hearing the snow geese, but I drove around some local fields here and did not find the snow geese. You know, it's getting to be that time when they go back up north to Wrangel Island, Russia. But I know as at least a few days ago, there were a great many of them still in Skagit County, just north of here. Now, I thought I had a video clip too that I had imported. You know, I should tell you where we're at. Whoops, that's not quite correct. Let's go back here. Sorry about that. And we can, though, bring up that bug. Okay, so yeah, I've been taking pictures with the Canon 7D. Let's show you what it looks like right out of the iPhone here that I'm using to stream with. And that's what it looks like right now. Sun's just gone down. You finally got your new camera, Mark. What did you get? Thank you for joining in the chat tonight, Mark. I think you may have told me what you were going to get, but you could tell me again, that'd be great. This is largely rural right here. I know some folks who might watch this replay will say, oh wow, where the heck is this? It's very rural. Area floods a lot, so it hasn't really been subject to development. What I'm going to do right now, though, you guys, is I want to show you what's going on behind me. So while you're looking at that picture, I'm going to rearrange a shot on camera 2, which is an iPhone 7, to show you the mountains behind me, because that really is nice. We can just do it like this. Of course, knowing my luck, this little cheapo tripod would tip over. Actually, I've got it on like a concrete barrier. Let's just do it like that. Here we go. That is quite nice. Sassy Photo is here. Hey, Christian. And Mark says he got the A7R3. Did you really? Wow. So let me just step off to the side here, and you can see on the snow-capped mountains the snow is really starting to get illuminating now, and it's kind of got some pinks and we've got some shafts of light. I'm not sure how well that translates to what you're looking at right now, but I'll tell you what, why don't I just pop on over and I'll zoom in with the iPhone 7 here a bit tighter. Oh yeah, this will be really nice, you guys. It's nice to have Christian Sassy here at Sassy Photo. The bald eagle man himself. There's a bald eagle nest. I could actually show it to you in just a bit. Okay, so you got to watch me do all that. So just to show you, there's our sunset right now, and there is this view. And let's try a little something funky here. Let's just see how this works now. So let's go A and B screen. Let's have the sunset there on one side, looking at the sunset. And then let's take camera 2 as our second shot. There we go. Not too bad. I gotta adjust the shots a little bit. Let's see if we can get east and west. All right, let's get east and west together here. And looks like I gotta move camera 2 a little bit more towards that tree. Yeah, you guys, Christian has shot some incredible slow motion video of bald eagles in Dutch Harbor, Alaska. Check out the man's channel. Oh, by the way, while we're looking at this view, I'm going to put it right in the center of the screen. There is the bald eagle nest. It's right smack in the middle of that tree up high in the center. That dark spot is a bald eagle nest. Okay, but let's right now see if we can give you some purple mountain majesty. Sorry, it's a cheapo tripod here, but I'm going to try and just get it just a bit more so we can watch those mountains change colors. So nice. There we go. And actually, I could just stand here with the iPad. About 20 seconds delay here with these live streams. That's kind of fun to do. Yeah, I think I like that. So now you're looking east and west. Well, I tell you what, Mark, that Sony a7R3, what a beautiful camera. You know, I had an a7R2, I believe it was, loaned to me just recently, and I used it with a Sony lens, and it was just magnificent. I was extremely impressed with that camera, coupled with the Sony lens, of course. So here we go, east and west, live from Snohomish, Washington. Look at those mountaintops. Isn't that just beautiful? Sometimes around this time, we'll see the bald eagles fly over the fields towards us here. That'd be coming from the distance, that shot on your left. So from the west, that's the west. And they'll fly right overhead. I've had them fly low right at me and just off to the side when they pass over. And they fly off towards that tree as they circle around either to their nest or to the Snohomish River or a nearby lake called Shadow Lake, that general area at the nearby Bob Ehrman Wildlife Refuge. Isn't that something, you guys? So I tell you what, let me just kind of jump around just a little bit. We can come back to east and west, but let's show you this beautiful view right now. Isn't that something? So that's a live look, looking east from Snohomish, Washington. The really cool thing to be able to pull off live streaming like this is just to, you know, I've got 3 devices on the same cell signal. So I've got an iPhone 7 Plus and an iPhone 7, and I've also got the very first iPad mini, so it's really old. And so I just tethered from the iPhone 7 Plus, which I'm using to stream the other 2 devices, and that's how the magic happens. Thank you, Brenda Ann. Nice to have you here, Brenda Ann L. Isn't it just a beautiful night? We'll come back to this. Again, this is looking live now to the west, but looking behind me to the east is just something else with those jagged peaks of the Cascade Mountains covered with snow and catching those pinks. And just a short while ago, just to kind of give you an idea of what that same area looked like, this was just before the sun dipped down. And then a little closer look at those mountains. And then we had this moment when the sun finally emerged from beneath the cloud, behind the cloud, just over the tree out there along this farm, in the farm field along Springgetty Road here in Snohomish, Washington. Let's bring it back live, looking east, and just enjoy those subtle colors. Well, I tell you what, Mark Beamish, I look forward to seeing some of your images. I hope that You know, if you're not going to share them on social media, which I imagine you would, feel free to DM me on Twitter or reach me in other ways. I think you might even have my email. If not, I'd be happy to share it with you. I'd love to see your photos with that new Sony camera that you got, and see how it's, see what you think of it as you continue to use it. You know, I should also mention that the images I showed you a short moment ago were actually shot with my DSLR. They were unprocessed, and all I did before going live was I hooked a cable. I don't have a Wi-Fi card for this compact flash storage card in my Canon 7D. They make some knockoffs that could possibly do that. I've read mixed reviews on them. So I just use a cable to come out of camera, go right into my phone and import them into my camera roll. So that was without any processing, But it's neat because if there were something such as a breaking news story or just a really cool moment outdoors, whether it be wildlife, nature, a sporting event, what have you, and I got something great with a better lens, if you will, something that can get me closer on the DSLR, and then to be able to quickly bring it into the iPhone 7 Plus and share it moments later. That's pretty cool to have that. And I'll just show you what it looks like now to the west, and we'll zoom that shot way out. You can see it's kind of getting a bit dull there. I don't know if we're going to grab any colors from the twilight hour, but let's just bring it back looking east. And that is something else, isn't it? Wow. Just fading colors now on those peaks. In fact, as I look behind me, those are the only peaks in that direction still grabbing some sunshine. But I see another view which I'd like to share with you in just a moment. Let's see, let's take a look. I'll keep you looking. You guys can watch me work on this camera for just a second. I'm going to set up another shot with it. There's the iPhone 7. Okay, I'm going to change the shot to show you what's going on up north. It's kind of obscured, but there are a lot of pinks in the sky up there, and I just thought that might be nice to share with you. If you're up north from here at this moment, what a cool opportunity you might have to show this view that's partly obscured here. But boy, there's some fabulous color going on. See a small plane coming into view. So let's show you this. I'll cut to that shot. I think you're going to like this, you guys. Yeah, it doesn't translate as well. Yeah, it's not bad, but there are definitely a lot of pinks off in that direction. In fact, that little yellow house just to the right of center, right over it, that is pretty fabulous right now. There's a lot of pink aglow there right now, a lot of pink. Here is Mark's brilliant edit. Oh, Christian, thank you. Well, you guys, I'm not kidding. Christian shot fabulous video. Understand, it was shot at just over 1,000 frames per second. 1,000 frames per second. So super slow-mo. And ultimately, it makes a file which is 60 frames per second, giving you that 1,000 frames per second view. But when you bring it into a 30 frames per second project sequence in Adobe Premiere, you effectively double the slow-mo without losing resolution. So if you watch this footage, I guarantee you will see things in a bald eagle that you've never seen before. And because he was in Dutch Harbor, Alaska, the eagles in large part are already quite close because they're used to being around people. So check out youtube.com/Sassy Photo. That's SASSEPHOTO. In fact, let's try and see if I can bring that web address in for you while I'm live. I think this will work. This will work. And it looks like somebody else. Maureen is here, lovely rural area. Hey, Maureen, thank you very much. Thank you so much. So I'm going to go to imported images. Watch this. See. Let's make some magic happen. This is a lot of fun. I believe, yes, I do. I have it right down here. I can import it into this project as an image. We can go done. And this is how you find Mr. Christian Sassy right there. youtube.com/Sassy Photo. youtube.com/Sassy Photo. Isn't that just awesome? I mean, not the address, but once you get in there, you will just absolutely enjoy that bald eagle footage. Trust me. I had the pleasure of editing three videos for him now from that trip to Dutch Harbor, and the most recent one is the comprehensive one that really, I think, does a nice job of showing the variety of scenes, the beauty and the battles of bald eagles, which are almost always over food, it seems. Maureen says, yes, it's incredible footage. Glad Nat Geo picked up the segment they did. Yeah, National Geographic picked up Christian's work. And just yesterday, I believe, published it, or maybe it was the day before. And Brenda Ann says, that the one I saw last night? I was on the edge of my seat. Well, here you go. This is, these are effectively what in the television or other documentary and movie industry you would call blurbs, right? Or even if you've got something online and you need some good blurbs, some short, enthusiastic, positive reviews, Christian, feel free to grab these. The bald eagles were amazing. Brenda Ann, right on. Well, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. It was a thrill to work on that project. Absolutely a thrill. You know what? Let's take a look out the, you know what, you guys? I think I can even do you one better. Let's have a sneak peek. For those of you who have not seen that project, I'm going to bring it in and share a little bit with it, a little bit of it with you right now. So stand by, please, and we'll have some fun here. Okay, you guys, I'm going to hold my mic up here because I know the music is a little loud. So there's the Cornelia Marie from The Deadliest Catch, the boat behind this action. And just look at these superb moments. So it was shot at 1,000 frames per second, just over 1,000 frames per second, and then additionally reinterpreted to double the length of those clips so you get twice the slow-mo in a sense. I don't know if that's actually accurate, but it is definitely a slow-mo. Watch carefully as you observe this bird. Do you already see, maybe it's hard to see, something unique about this bald eagle? You're going to get a much better view right there and now in just a moment. When it turns its head, it is very well revealed. Right there. It is missing almost the entirety of its upper beak. How does this bird eat? How does it survive? Now this moment reminds me of the Seattle Seahawks, the former LOB of late. There's Richard Sherman or Earl Thomas pouncing in right center screen. They're going for the loose ball or to create a fumble. No, it's all about fish, scene after scene, the battle for food, and that's what you get right here. I didn't know I'd end up reinterpreting all this. So this is Christian Sassy. He's chatting in the comments right now. This is on his YouTube channel. So you want to go there to watch this, and if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you like his work, which is largely bald eagles and many other raptors, please subscribe to his channel. It's absolutely unique what Christian brings time and time again. And there's no wonder this has, last I saw, I think 40,000 views on Facebook. And Christian just released it. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I love this moment right here. And look at the talons. Talons up, right? Talons up. Again, you have the juvenile. Don't be confused. These are all bald eagles. Now watch the time ramping. Speed it up, slow it down. And that's what I did right there. And I adjusted some of the color correction so you can see the pinks and other things in those fish and their slippery undersides, which are blown out in the raw footage. But with good color correction and color grading, we can bring all that right like we did right there. Now, this is stuff shot with Christian's Nikon. And remember Broken Beak? Stay tuned. Here we go. There's Broken Beak. Look at that. Nearly the entire upper beak is missing. Are there wrapped? Christian, go ahead and feel free. None. Closest rehab is Anchorage, 2.5 hours by plane. Brenda's been following Christian for a while now. So isn't this just magnificent? Now this is probably my favorite scene because it's the most unusual. And I'll let this speak for itself. See the food in the mouth? And do you see how close the talons come to the face? Imagine an eye, how an eye could be lost by an eagle when you see it in the wild. It could have been due to conflict with another eagle. You'll never see anything like this, I don't think, anywhere else. That's a fascinating observation, Maureen. And both eagles here were okay, rest assured. Oftentimes in the battle with bald eagles, the conflict, which is over very quickly usually, but it's slowed down. You see there's so much going on. But by and large, you know, they're just fine. And Christian is known for his still photography. It's absolutely breathtaking. And here I went inside some of the shots to go even closer because I like the intimacy of these moments because they are shot in such detail. Looking up here, I just love the expression, if you will. Can a bald eagle have an expression? I think this expresses something to me. And I've never seen a shot like this, you guys. Never. Plane passing overhead. Sorry about that. Let me just pause my mic so you don't hear the plane. And there you go. There's Christian's YouTube channel once again. Let me get my mug off of that. Oh, it's off now. Let's just... There we go right now. You know, this is a great opportunity, you guys. Christian says, that scene went so fast. I only saw it when I returned to the hotel in the evening and was stunned by what I captured. Okay, guys, I'm going to put my mic back on. Let's set the iPad down for just a moment. I held it up close there because I know that music is very loud. Aren't they, Brenda Ann? They are, I agree, just stunning. It's interesting because I'm watching the feed. I'd say there's about 20 seconds of delay with this stream, which is consistent no matter what you used to stream with whether it's an application like I'm using right now on my phone. You might have a Wirecast on a laptop like Christian does, or you might have a TriCaster like I use at work, a TriCaster Mini. You're still going to have roughly that 20 or could be 30, could be maybe a bit more than that, but I say on average about a 20-second delay. My name is Mark Horner. I hope that you like this kind of content. If you do, and you're a first-time viewer, you're here live, you're watching the replay, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, and I'd love it if you subscribe. I cover a lot of wildlife, nature. I do interviews with people about these subjects. It could be even news in terms of the interview or some big important issues of the day, some live discussion with a guest. And it could also be breaking news. I've done a lot of breaking news over the years, live streaming from a phone, going back to using the Ustream app and the Oso mudslide. Those videos are on YouTube. That was a big national and international story about a terrible mudslide here in Washington State that claimed several lives back in March of 2014. So that was 4 years ago already. Hard to believe. But you know, this is also, you guys, and by the way, Maureen, I'm just reading your comments. You like the music. Christian narrowed it down to 9 finalists in terms of music, and then we came to the conclusion that 2 songs worked best, so we found those on Pond5, pond5.com. In fact, I sell stock footage on Pond5. If you want to check out my footage on Pond5, it's pond5.com/artist YouTube.com/Mark Horner. And you can see some stuff that I've shot over the years that I sell online at Pond 5. So thumbs up for Mark. Thanks. Thanks, Christian. And Brenda Ann jumps right in. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to hang here just for a couple extra minutes at least, because this is neat. You're seeing this live for those of you watching live. You saw that video. If you have any questions from the photographer himself who shot that footage, whether it's about bald eagles, Alaska, getting to Dutch Harbor, where the heck is it? Because it's a long way across the Pacific, further west than Hawaii, way out on the Aleutian Islands chain. And it's a port, a major port for those guys you see on Deadliest Catch. If you watch that program, Dutch Harbor. They spend a lot of time there. And that's why you saw the Cornelia Marie, a famous boat featured in that program, in many of those shots. Maybe you have questions about the camera gear. And I should also mention, Christian has not only been in National Geographic just this week for that footage, he has another passion, and that's what's going on out there in space. And so he is very much on the forefront of astronomy. He's going to be traveling to Australia soon to give some workshops at a major telescope, Siding Springs telescope in Australia. So I'll hang in here for just a couple seconds. If you have any questions about any of that, whether it's eagles, raptors, or the stars above, feel free to chime in. And because this is kind of a unique opportunity. I didn't plan on this, didn't expect to see Christian here, so I'm happy to share that. And rather than just look at me real quick, let's take a look at what else is going on. There is our view looking to the west. The sun has definitely gone down. There's camera 2 on that little tripod. And let me just look here, 460 miles west of Hawaii. And here's the crazy thing about that, you guys. It's on Anchorage time. So if you live in the Pacific time zone, how many hours behind LA, Seattle, Portland, Oregon is Hawaii? I don't know the answer to that, but it's got to be 2 or 3 hours, maybe 3 hours. Now think about this. Dutch Harbor is 460 miles west of Hawaii, and it's on Anchorage time. So that's only 1 hour behind Seattle, 1 hour behind LA. How crazy is that? I can only imagine what that does in terms of your sleep pattern, Christian, and try to adjust to all that. Here's what it looked like here when the sun was still up and had just emerged beneath this cloud here, coming up from behind the cloud. That's when I started watching Christian. The solar eclipse. Hey, there you go. The solar eclipse. Yeah, Christian did a fantastic job on the solar eclipse. Some people went down to Oregon. Christian was in Wyoming, wasn't it, Christian? And he used some excellent techniques and gear, and he shared his images of the solar eclipse last year that were just phenomenal. Raptors plus stars equal heaven. Both require us to look up. There you go. And isn't it interesting that one of the nebulas is the Eagle Nebula, which Christian has imaged a time or two. I'll say this too, you may not know this about Christian, but he set the world record for imaging an object the furthest away from Earth with a quote-unquote amateur-sized telescope. So he set the world record. That was back in, I can't remember the year, Christian, but what was it, probably about 2011 or roughly, I'm probably off by a year or two, but in that general time frame. It's like having super summertime there. I think you might be referring to out there in Alaska in terms of having a lot of daylight maybe, but maybe not in terms of temperatures, although you guys had sunshine, which was highly unusual for late February and early March. You had very pleasing weather. Yes, Casper, Wyoming is where Christian had shot the eclipse. So just tell you what, I'll just kind of flick around. This was also just before the sun went down, just before I went live here along Spring-Getty Road in Snohomish, Washington. Again, if you're interested in Christian's work, you can find him at YouTube.com. Oh, it was 2011. Thank you, Christian. 2011, when he set the world record for imaging the furthest object away from Earth with an amateur-sized telescope, and it was a quasar. This man knows his heavenly bodies, if you will. And he's also got a PhD in optics, if I'm not mistaken. And so that's his website. Please check him out. And if you know what, I'll just go ahead and give him a quick plug in addition. There's a link beneath, you'll find it on his website for his Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can get a monthly, receive a high resolution phenomenal bald eagle photograph from Christian for your personal use. Feel free to print it, make a large print, throw it on your wall, or use it on your screen as a screensaver, whatever you want to do. You'll get them directly from him, and he's very good about getting things out quickly. He doesn't just you know, take the support and turn his back on it. He engages, he provides private live streams and sneak peeks for his Patreon supporters. So please check him out. If you want to go straight to his Patreon site, I believe it's patreon.com/sassyphoto, if I'm not mistaken. Wow, which Messier object is what it says, and I'm not sure what that means unless you're talking hockey, and I would say Mark. Mark Messier. That perhaps reveals my ignorance, or that was a typo. Either way, I hope it gave you a chuckle. You know what? Maybe you're just stumbling upon this live stream, or you're watching the replay. You don't know how to tell people how to find me. Here's how you can find me on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Mark Horner Media. Mark Horner Media. The channel itself is known as Beyond 90 Seconds, just like I am on Twitter at Beyond 90 Seconds. That's Beyond 90 Seconds. And on Periscope, where I scope from time to time, go live, it's also at Beyond 90 Seconds. Why Beyond 90 Seconds? Well, you know, in television news, we got about 1:10 tape time when I worked in TV news as a reporter. And then you had 10 seconds to say hello and, you know, intro to your package or pre-recorded 1:10 story, and then you came out for 10 seconds basically. So it all added up to roughly 90 seconds, and I have a propensity, like this live stream and like these last few minutes, going on and on, but there's no producer here to shut me down. But awesome, honestly, it allows me the opportunity to go a bit deeper when we have a lot of meat on the bone, and we don't want to leave you hanging. If we have something super compelling, we can really dive in. In years past, I've gone really deep into some hard news stories, broke some stories, and definitely went beyond 90 seconds. And I want to bring that same intensity when allowed to whether it's something as a soft feature like enjoying bald eagles or a sunset, or if we have a big story in our backyard. A few years ago, the Skagit River Bridge collapsed, and I spent some time there getting a lot of good video and pictures shortly after it happened. So that's what I mean by beyond 90 seconds. Let me just check your comments. 12.7 billion light years away, edge of the universe. Wow, Christian, thanks for nailing it down for Maureen. Oh, she says, that's all, LOL. No, not a Messier, a much further object. Well, Maureen, you have some good background. Your knowledge of the solar system goes deeper than mine. Very interesting, says Brenda M. Okay, guys. Well, once again, I'm going to go ahead and just wrap it up. Let's take a look out front real quick. That is our live view, but it's not very interesting. So let's look at the bald guy with a hat on. That'd be me. Thanks a lot for watching. This has been better than I even anticipated. I hesitated to go live, but once the colors started capturing the mountains and we had the sun appearing from behind the cloud and the sound of the distant train here in the valley, I thought, why not? And it's a good exercise for me to practice my live streaming techniques using this software, so that when there's a big thing that breaks, a big news item or something else that might have a lot of cumulative interest, I'm prepared to stream it as well as I possibly can. Thanks a lot for joining. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to subscribe, I'd be most grateful. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to share this sunset and now twilight with you. Good night, everybody.